Hello and welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. For Tool Time Tuesday, we are focusing on our punches, and I'm showing you how I store mine. So what we're looking at is, of course, a roll of paper towels that I keep there. That is like one of my essentials in my craft room. And then here, this is in the front, a pocket of sketches. Behind that is this is the unit that I store my kits for 30 days of sketches. So when I have a kit that's getting smaller, I still love it. I still want to play with it. I put it in here, or I go ahead and just, if I get low, I make kits. And I also add some of my scrap room kits from time to time to that storage. And in this unit here, the first 3 drawers, I store my punches. And we're going to look through that. But I'll go ahead and let you see what I have on the other rolling, the plant roller thing here. That is a container that holds 6x6 pads, handy so that I can get to them. The rest of are in my overflow. And I have 2 kits sitting up here. Those are my baby kits because I don't have babies anymore. But I had created a boy and a girl baby kit so that I can do gift albums. I have 2 more albums to make for Christmas. So I'm keeping them handy so that I can get into them as needed. And let's go back here. There's more stuff that you can see, but that'll come at a later date. Here is what we want to focus on. So I'm going to walk over there. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to walk over there and open the drawers because that's going to be really disjointed if I don't. Again. And the third drawer holds leaves and butterflies. These are the punches that I use all the time. Okay, I've showed you my punches. I'm going to mount the camera, and then we'll continue with my project for this month. All right, here we are back at my desk. This is the position that you're normally in, so this looks familiar. The project that I wanted to do this month, I'll be using my hexagon punches, and I think I'm going to be using also a circle punch. And I wanted to use the kit that I had put together last month from my scrap room kits because, you know, there was a kit that I wanted to make it a little bit bigger. But I only have 1 piece of paper for each of those pieces in the kit. There's only 1 piece of paper. So I didn't want to practice and then mess something up. So I did a trial run. And when I was hanging out with friends last night, I created this layout so that I could try this technique with hexagon punches. Now, I think, because I need a base to lay those on, I think I want to do a circle base for these to rest on. And these turned out lovely. I think it's really, really pretty. So I'll go ahead and talk about this layout. This is some photos of the first time my husband, he had seen a video of this guy making bread in like this Dutch oven. It's very, you know, he does it over a fire and the whole thing. So we did it in an oven, but this is my husband mixing it up. This is the dough resting, and then he made his bread. And we got really tickled about it because the bread had no flavor. It was just like, I mean, you could tell you were eating bread, but it had no flavor at all, and so that was funny. So it definitely made, it just wasn't tasty. But you don't know if you don't try, right? So we tried. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and we will move on to the kit. And this is some of the leftovers I had. So this is the kit that I made, and we'll look through the papers because honestly, I haven't made my final decisions of what I'm going to use, and so let's just talk about it. So this is a mixture of crepe paper and pink fresh together. These are papers from Lovely Blooms, Pink Fresh, and Gingham Garden by Crepe Paper. And they work together really, really pretty. The difference on this is that, so let's bring out the other layout. On this layout, when I folded the hexagons back, this was on a white backed paper. So these are this was a 2x2 pad from the Truly Grateful collection by, was it Pink Paisley? Yes, it is Pink Paisley, because I have the other part of the 2x2, which is the Phrases Expressions. And this one was the Pattern Papers. So these are where I cut out my hexagons. And there are one single-sided. So they were white on the back. And that creates this lovely contrast. The difference that I'm going to be doing with these papers is that they're double-sided. So we're going to get another pattern that's going to be exposed. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see how that works out. And if I wanted to go with a single color, I could use maybe the wood grain. I could, do this side and maybe do the wood grain exposed. But I don't like that idea. I kind of like this paper to cut the circles out. I want to cut this circle, that pattern circle out. So that's kind of what I'm already playing with. But let's go ahead and spread these papers out and stop jabbering around. This is my plain cardstock. We'll set that to the side. These are such soft, I don't know how to, soft is the only way that I can think of to describe it. And this is more plain cardstock. But that is the colors. And then we'll flip it over and see the other side. Even though there are deeper tones, it's still very kind of muted and soft. It's just beautiful, beautiful colors. And I think I will be drawing from this side to create my layout. I need a background. And let me pull up the inspiration photo, because this was a pink page. Good gosh. Paige Evans layout. There we go. So this is the layout that inspired me. And it is Paige Evans. I will not be making that many, but I like how that looks. And I don't think that I will be doing hexagons, because I don't think I have a hexagon that's, yes, I do. I have dies. See, I haven't really fully thought this out. Okay, that's the inspiration. This is the paper I'm working with. And I'm going to pause and get myself centered and figured out before I bring the chaos to you. Okay, I'll be right back. These are the photos that I've chosen to do with this project. And I did find my hexagon dies, some of them anyway. And if I cut them like this, it fits. So these, yeah, these are for Sizzix. And that will work. So I'm going to cut out my photos. I'll be right back. I've cut my photos out and I've done a dry fit to make sure that, so I'm going to stagger them something like this. I want the dramatic clouds to show up, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough room over here to trim because I'm going to do a matted background. I like the fact that this pale green, it allows the photos to take center stage. So we're going to probably go with this one. I'm still in the process of selecting my papers. So this one is a winner. And then I want to pick out the papers that I'm going to be cutting my hexagons from. So I want those, I want there to be a good color balance. And I'm looking at this one. Yes, you can see that. I'm looking at this paper. I want to probably fussy cut some of these butterflies. So that's a possibility. I don't think I will be using this one. I think I will do my circle bases from this one. This has a lot of different colors in it. And it has this really nice blue on the other side that, so this one's a possibility. I'm not going to be using this one. This one has the deeper colors, the deeper tones. And I like this. So that's a possibility. This one, I think I'm going to frame this one with. I like that. I like that a lot. So that's my background, my base. And I can also, I can trim out the interior of this one and to continue using it. So that will get a lot of use out of that paper. I won't be using this one. Okay, so we have some paper selections. I'm going to do the boring work and come right back. I'm going to make my base. That's not anything that, it's not complicated. It's just a little tedious and takes a lot of time, so I'm going to get that done off camera. In the process of kind of doing dry fitting and seeing how things are going to work, I believe I'm going to need about 10 of the finished hexagon pieced together pieces. It takes 6 to create that piece, and I'll be using this size. Now, I don't think on here it has anywhere that says the size. So it's the middle, I'm going to say the medium hexagon is what I'll be using. So first, I think I'm going to need 10. So first, I'm going to punch out 10 of these circles because they're going to be my bases. And then I'm going to get that done. I'll come back and I'll show how I put one together. I had this piece left that I was trimming out, and I started to throw it away, and I thought, nope, I like this edge, and I'm going to make this really rough scallop out of it so that I can use it on another layout from that kit. This is just one of those ways that we get a lot of mileage out of our paper. So if, once again, when the inspiration strikes, just follow it. So this one has nothing to do with my layout that I'm creating today, but I had an idea and it was laying there, and I'm going to go ahead and create it to follow through with that idea. We're to the part that I need to start assembling, And of course, I got another idea while I was doing my punching and I got interrupted. So I have stacks of 6. And these are all from that striped paper that I showed you before. I need, I think, 10. I may be able to get by with less, but I think 10. So I have, out of that striped paper, enough to do so that everything is going to have the same pattern on the back. And then I started thinking, well, that may be distracting, because if everything has the same center, that's going to become the focal point instead of the photos. I'm going to try both ways and just see what is less distracting, because these are going to have different centers on them. So I don't want really distracting centers. So that's kind of where my brain is going. I have my circles already cut out. So I'm going to do a trial run. Then I'll come back and I'll show you how to assemble the design. Okay, you can see how it's coming together. And I like it. I like it with just the 3, because I have 4 photos. I have 3, and I decided I liked the mixture of, nothing is adhered, but I like the mixture of colors. And I'm going to go back and show you the inspiration photo and how Paige Evans is just, it's a riot of color. It's overwhelming color. It's beautiful, but it's like I said, it's just a riot of color. And for my layout, I wanted to maintain the softness because I want the photos to be the focal point. I'm going to do a title here, and I'm going to do some journaling here. So I'm going to maintain just using 3. I have a ton of stuff punched out over here because I planned for 10, and I'm only going to use 3. So I think I'm going to use bits and pieces to maybe decorate in these 2 corners, and then I'll do my title, and then I'll do my journaling, and then it will look balanced. I'm loving how this is coming together, and I normally would not do these types of layouts. So I love that these challenges kind of push us out of our comfort zones and just help get our brains turning in a different direction, get those wheels going, and I love that. So, like I said, nothing is adhered except for my base. I told you that I would show you how to put one together. So let's move this to the side, and I will do that right now. I like the alternating look here. So I'm going to get out 2 stacks that are cut from alternating sides, and I'll show that. So I'm using a bone folder. When your image is placed, you're going to have a point up. So you're going to roll 2 sides into this point to make that happen. And I'm using my bone folder, and I am going to go from this side. So let me make sure I can get this up to you. There we go. So I'm going to go from this point to this point to this point, and that's going to leave exposed this, and it's going to reveal the underside. So let's do that. So I'm laying my bone folder down from point to the point and then curling so that it now my bone folder does not have a fine point on it, so I end up having to roll at the end. I don't know if there is a bone folder or a tool that has that straight edge and a really fine point. I don't know. I don't have it in my room, I'll tell you that. So once I have it curled, I'll just go ahead and start rolling till I get to the point that it needs to be. So it's not very difficult. And then I'll lay it down. And we're just going to alternate these. And it's okay if it's not exact and it's not perfect, because it adds that dimension and texture that we love. So it's okay. And if you take classes from Paige Evans, she talks about having things that are handmade and that they are not perfect. That's part of the charm, right? I'm having to use my fingernails quite a bit to get these edges pulled up because I'm pressing down with this bone folder. So it comes together. It takes time. It takes time. And sometimes you want to do, or I do, I'll just talk about me. I want to do those layouts that require a slower pace. And then sometimes I want to fly through it like the devil's on my tail. It just depends on the day and what's going on. I was supposed to go the other direction with that one. Why didn't y'all yell at me? We're just going to flip those. There we go. No harm, no foul. And I do a lot of rolling. I just roll it to the position that it needs to be. Once again, because I don't have that tool that has that super fine point and a straight edge. And then we'll do our last one. I am not going to adhere these down. So these sections here, these flaps, I am not going to adhere them down. They will just be how they are. Isn't that cute? So like I said, it is not complicated to make this. It just takes a little time. All right, we're going to set this aside. I'm going to pause. I'm going to start adhering my layout and then I'll come back and share what we have finished. I decided I wanted to mat my photos, and I'm also lazy and want to get this done quickly. So I am using I cut two pieces at 4 inches, and then I'm layering them. And I just wanted to mention that not all metal dies will cut through 2 pieces of paper at one time. So be aware of that. And I'm also kind of pre-planning, because this is going to create, the negative space is going to create 2 windows that I can use later on another layout. So I want these, like if I want to put photos side by side, then I have these placed already side by side. So that's what we're doing, and I'm going to cut out my other set of mats. Okay, I've got them cut out, and I have 2 sets of windows here that I can use at a later date. So that's going to go in my scraps. And let's just see what I may not like this. Didn't even try it out. So let's just see what these look like. And I've lost my photos. I'm in the middle of adhering everything down, but I just wanted to turn this over and let you see what it looks like on the back with the circle as the base. So it really didn't matter what I punched this out of, because you know what? It's completely hidden. But now I'm just doing my placement And I still got that one off out of whack there. I think this is how I want it to look. I'm trying to judge distance. I wanted this to be the same line across, and instead of getting a ruler out like normal people would do, I'm eyeballing it. I am eyeballing it. Okay, I'm going to pause again and get some more supplies out because I need to do a journaling spot. Let's just see what I have here. So this is what came with my kits, and I didn't even look to see if she had included anything on there that I could journal with. I will not be using those. So right off the bat, I'm looking at this capture, and that could be my title. I will talk a little more about what's going on in these photos. It's pretty obvious. We were on a road trip, and my sister texted me. She was like, it's going to be storming. You're the whole way home. Are y'all okay? And I was like, yeah, we're fine. And she's like, well, I'm praying for y'all because it's supposed to be bad. Well, of course, we ran into the storm, and we had like these really dramatic skies a lot of the trip, and then, you know, it broke free. So magic could work too, but I think capture is going to be my title. And I'm shooting through a dirty windshield, so that the photos are not perfection, but it's not about taking perfect photos. It's about documenting our trip home from Alabama. And we got home safely, of course. As you can tell, I am here, safe and sound, recording this video. And it was good to go home for a bit. It was so hot. Oh my goodness. And the humidity is just, was horrendous. So this is the first time I'm using the new, I think these are from American Crafts. So these foam stickers. And they have got the glue. So maybe all that complaining we did about, yeah, that's what I want right there. So we have capture, and I do have a journaling spot. I don't know that it's the right color and that'll work. Sure, it'll work. You know what? It just stuck, so that's where it's going, right there. And I'm liking how this is balancing out. I am going to use some of these hexagons that I trimmed out here to, I don't want to use that color. Let's see. Maybe this up here. And down here, I want to bring in, so I think that's some of the yellow. Like that. What do we think about that? And then I'm not loving the yellow here for some reason. It's just not making the punch that I want it to make. So let's go back to the green, doing this, and then this. I like that. And let's do another of these. I think if I tucked most of this green under here, if I can get this back up without tearing paper, that may work a little better. You know what? Let's use the pink. Like that. I don't know. What do I like better, the pink or the green? So many decisions. I think I like the green better. Of course I would. Okay. Or maybe if I used the ledger side. Yes. Okay, we've got a decision. It's adhering time again. I'll come back with a finished layout. I have completed this layout. I've got to document the day we were traveling home and about the storm. I used these Bo Bunny Beautiful Things candy dots. These are on my desk for just like general use. Every time I pick them up, I'm super excited. There's actually candy dots missing. I'm using these things, and that makes me happy. So I'm going to bring it closer so that you can see some of the details. There are my candy dots. I'm happy with how this turned out. This layout took me quite a while. This was not a fast thing, and that's okay. It took some time, but that's part of the process. It's part of enjoying this hobby, is slowing down when you have time to slow down, and when you don't have time to slow down, having those systems in place that help you move quickly through being creative. That is all for today. Thank you for joining me for Tool Time Tuesday. Down below will be linked everyone who is participating. Come back and we will chat again soon. Bye-bye.